Okay. I'm very glad to present my research paper here. My research paper is with the title of Is Property Tax a Solution of Mitigating Urban Sprawl? Evidence from 379 metropolitan statistical areas in the U.S. This paper aims to investigate how property tax influence urban sprawl through two divergent effects of density effect and dwelling effect. The data used in this study is mainly from the U.S. Census and include information of 379 U.S. metropolitan statistical areas. Both OLS and log linear models are used, and the findings suggest that property tax mitigate urban sprawl significantly, implying the dwelling effect dominates the density effect. Extensions of future work are also discussed at the end of the study. Urban sprawl has become a top national urban issue due to its nature, history, and negative outcomes. Urban sprawl is a process of unlimited outward extension into undeveloped areas, low density, and leapfrog development. Urban sprawl has been increasing since the last 2 centuries, and some suggestive evidence shows that the high speed of urban sprawl would result in a doubling size of cities every 3 decades. The negative outcomes produced by urban sprawl include high social and economic cost, increased pollution of environment, inequality among communities, decrease in land and water quantity and quality, increased personal transportation costs and traffic congestion, decrease in social capital, and the inefficiency of resource allocation. It is difficult to measure urban sprawl. There is no standardized method that manages to fully evaluate the level of urban sprawl, or even project an accurate growth at the local level during urban sprawl. Some efforts have been done to propose several quantitative ways of assessing sprawl, but different opinions exist about the effectiveness of those indices. Gelster proposed the most comprehensive index of urban sprawl in terms of 8 dimensions, which includes density, continuity, concentration, clustering, centrality, nuclearity, mixed use, and proximity sprawl. And the sprawl occurs if the urbanized area performs at low level in either or more of these dimensions. Malpassy and Guo documented a few alternative measures of urban sprawl. They empirically tested many alternative measures of sprawl and provided evidence to support that most of alternative measures tell the same story about the extent of sprawl, and the average population density and the density gradient both perform reasonably well in explaining sprawl. In this paper, I mainly use the definition of density to measure sprawl from both aspects of population as housing capital. Property tax is one of the several typical factors of sprawl, and some effects of its adoption have been well clarified. One possibility of effect from property tax is widely called as density effect. This view argues that a property tax can reduce housing units per unit of land area, and the fourth is residents move outward and further speed spread. The other view supported the claim that property tax reduce housing capital used by each household and mitigate spread, which is called as the dwelling effect. Later work provides consistent evidence. The question of which effect dominates. This paper aims to add in the literature by empirically investigating how property tax would influence urban spread across 379 metropolitan statistical areas. The main data set used in this study is from U.S. Census 2000 and American Community Survey 2010, and the detailed information of metropolitan areas are provided, including density of population, density of housing units, population size, land area, unemployment rate, average level of personal income, percent of residents living below the national poverty standard, percent of driving alone to work, and the federal government expenditure per capita. This table describes the variables we use in this study and provides their data source. The key variable of interest in this study is effective property tax, and this information is from American Community Survey and calculated by Tax Foundation. It is measured by effective property tax rate. One thing that needs to be clarified here is the property tax rate is at the state level, and it has much room to be improved by more detailed information on the property tax. There are three alternative measures of urban sprawl constructed in this study. First, persons per square mile of land area are used to measure level of sprawl from the perspective of population view. Second, housing units per square mile within the specific MSA are calculated to reflect the extent of sprawl from the view of housing capital ratio. Third, the size of land area is also used to measure sprawl, with controlling the population size as one of independent variables. This table describes the alternative dependent variables and the explanatory variables. This table describes some statistical information of the different variables. Regression results using OLS are displayed here. Column 1 presents the results through measuring sprawl by population density. The estimated coefficient on the property tax is 131 and significantly positive, which suggests 1% increase in property tax is associated with 131 more people per square mile of land area. Column 2 displays the regression results on the density of housing, reflected by housing units per square mile. The estimated effect is significantly positive as well, with a big magnitude of almost 54, showing that 1% increase in property tax is associated with 54 more house units per square mile of land area. Column 3 presents the results by regressing size of land area, and with population controlled as one more explanatory variable. the estimated effect of property tax is significantly negative, suggesting 1% higher property tax would curb urban sprawl by 882 square miles. The table collects the regression results based on a log-linear model. The results are pretty consistent and robust. Column 1 shows that a 1% increase in property tax is associated with increasing the population density by 35%. Column 2 suggests a similar significant mitigating effect of property tax on sprawl. A 1% increase in property tax would lead to a growing housing density by 33.5%. Column 3 remains the same result that 1% higher property tax would curb urban sprawl by about 32%. This paper aims to provide empirical evidence of how property tax impacts urban sprawl. There are two divergent effects that have been shown. The density effect speeds the expansion of cities and spurs the urbanized area to sprawl further in order to house their residents. And the other effect in the opposite direction is the dwelling effect, by lowering dwelling size with a higher level of housing density. This work is based on the analysis across 379 MSAs and the 3 alternative measures of sprawl, including average population density, housing density, and the size of land area with population control. The findings from regressions of OLS and log-linear models suggest that the dwelling effect dominates when property tax have impact on urban sprawl. The major limitation underlying in this analysis comes from the measure of effective property tax rate across MSAs because of data availability. More work can be done in terms of aggregating the property tax rate by counting to the effective rate by MSA throughout the national sample. In addition, this paper only relies on the cross-sectional variation, and some more efforts could be done by exploring the variation over time within each urbanized area with alternative panel data approaches. That's all. Thank you very much.